Hi, welcome to the GenX Glam Station here on YouTube. If you're new to the channel, and I know a few people are new, you just joined yesterday, welcome. Thank you so much for subscribing. If you're coming back, welcome back. It is fantastic. It's always fantastic to see you again. And thank you everyone for your comments. They're so positive. They give me so much cheer and warm my heart. So keep them coming. And if you're watching this real time, it's TGIF. So I hope everybody had a great week and are rolling into a great weekend. Before I start my video, which I'm going to try to do a 5-minute face, I've been getting so nostalgic lately. I thought, let's kick it back to the 90s and I'll show you what I used to do to get ready. My 5-minute face, whether I did it on the subway, whether I did it, I don't know, waiting for a bus, or very quickly before my day started in my workplace bathroom or at my desk. I'm going to show it to you. It's pretty simple. I'm also going to plug the current GenX Glam Giveaway. You can watch the video, subscribe, make a comment. It is a worldwide giveaway. So if you have a mailing address somewhere in the world, anywhere in the world, you can enter, but please still read the rules very carefully, okay? And good luck. Good luck. That video will be linked. All right, so let's start with the little makeup bag. Remember, we're kicking it old school, right? So I'm going to show you the kind of products I used the majority of my 20s and really even into my 30s. And some of these tips and tricks, I suppose, no, I didn't really wear makeup before my 20s. I truly didn't. I just washed my face. I did. I was always into the masks, you know, the fun masks. Whatever my mom didn't want, I would think those were so much fun. So I did do a heck of a lot of skincare. I just didn't wear a lot of makeup until I was in, I would say, like my early 20s. All right, so I always had like a little makeup bag, usually from Clinique, because my mom would take me to Macy's or she'd take me to Hudson's, and those were the department stores of the day, like in our area, and Clinique would run their bonus days. And she would, you know, my mom would buy me like maybe like a foundation compact, not foundation compact, a compact, or I don't know, whatever it would take to get like the minimal spend. Clinique Happy. I was going to say Clinique Happy. I loved that scent. So sometimes I just needed to get that to get it. So let's dump this guy out because we have to hurry as usual. I'm in a big hurry. It was a wash and dry the hair day. I'm getting the roots touched up next week. Remember I said I had to cancel my appointment last weekend because I wanted to participate in a community garage sale. All right, we're emptied out. The bag is empty. I just have a toner down, and I actually did use toner back in the day, and it was from Clinique. It was from their 1, 2, 3 step program. So I would wash the face. Maybe I'd put a toner on. Maybe I wouldn't. I would take this cream that pretty much always came in a gift with purchase, and I usually had like a large pump of it. That's probably entirely too much. I probably wouldn't have taken that much, but we're going in with it. Then I would take whatever foundation I had. We're going to use Fenty Ease Drops here in this case, and I would do a number like that. I don't know if Fenty's Ease Drops are a little bit, I took way too much. I won't use all that product. I don't know if Fenty's Ease Drops is the way to go here, because the foundations back in the 90s were pretty thick. They were thicker. You know, foundations nowadays, I think, and not that I have a lot of experience, right? Because I've said before, I don't wear a lot of foundation. I never really have. And when I did what you saw me do just now. I would cut it with whatever, you know, foundation I had. And that might be one from the drugstore, or sometimes I would have a Clinique foundation, like what was it, Barely There, something like that I was a fan of, and they would last me forever because, again, I was always cutting them with moisturizer. I don't know. I just thought that this gave me sort of a bit of a cover up without like the cakey layers, you know, that I personally felt foundation put on my skin. Now, please don't time me. I don't know if this is actually going to be a 5-minute face, but what I'm doing now, I was able to accomplish, you know, on a commute into work or in the few minutes I had before my day started. This really super fast too. This is probably going to take the longest time. And back then, didn't really use a beauty blender. I sometimes would get my hands on the like sponge wedges, which, you know, they still sell, because I've mentioned before, during this time, in my early 20s when I was, you know, commuting to work and putting my makeup on, usually on the train or at home after I moved into, you know, New York City. I was out in the suburbs when I first moved there, and then I moved into the city, and could when was I supposed to put my makeup on? I wasn't riding a train into work anymore, so I just had to find clever ways. Look, that's all that we've got. But anyway, I did work in the television industry. I wasn't on too much on the creative end and more on the logistical end of production, but I was exposed to everything, including the makeup artists. I've had my makeup done for television before. They used the little spongy wedges back then, and I was like, those are cute. So every once in a while I would splurge and I would buy a packet of them. All right, we've got that down. I always did have what do you call it, a concealer. Usually it was from the drugstore. Didn't spend money on it, and I didn't know what I was doing. I would usually put it right under my eyes, but in this case, this is an Essence concealer. In this case, we're just going to kind of put it there. I wouldn't mind getting it sort of around my lip contour area, over the bridge of my nose, just sort of brightening up down my T-zone with that little bit that we put on. I'm not beating my face. I am hurrying. I am patting. I am furiously patting, but I'm not really furious. I'm furiously patting that bit of concealer into my skin just to brighten up my T-zone. That's it. That's it. That's it. And we're almost done. Ooh, nothing on the lids really. My face feels fantastic, in case you're wondering. That moisturizer from Clinique mixed in with the Easy Drops, it feels great. Nothing's pilling, I would tell you. All right, I always had like the duo eyeshadow. No, it was like a trio. I would have like these two shades. Clinique would often make a duo eyeshadow with these two shades and a single blush with a little bit lighter than that. But I didn't always use those. This is my Think Bronze lipstick. I had used this thing before. I've showed it to you. I don't even know if they still make it. I still have a couple laying around. I would take this thing, and because it was a hack my mom taught me, I would use it as my blush, just to give myself a bit of a pop of color. And I didn't, you know, where you saw me use it is about where I did. You know, nowadays, you know, that's like, you know, you're making your, what do you call it, snatched. That's what the young kids say these days, snatched. You know, tried to snatch myself, trying to put it right there to, like, you know, really accentuate those cheekbones. Sometimes I would throw a little bit on my lid, like so. And this is it. We're almost done. I would, if I had time, I would do a little tiny bit of powder. And so we're going to go in. This is the e.l.f. brush that I had. I mean, I didn't have fancy brushes. Maybe I owned like half a dozen. It's not a bad color. Little bit too, it's a little bit darker, more rosier of a cheek than I wanted, but I don't care. The last step, second to last step, I suppose, I would dust the eyeshadow. And I had those little, oh man, I always have here we go. You know, I just used the ones that came with the set. And I would take like the lightest shade and I would mix it with sometimes the darker shade. But I mean, mostly I just dusted this on. Just a light, super light dust. And then would smudge it around with my fingers. I mean, we're not going very deep here, folks. Lastly, second to almost lastly, I always had like a little compact. Either it was foundation, that wants to just keep coming out. Either it was a Clinique compact that I bought to get a gift with purchase, or CoverGirl. And always like a sponge. This is a P. Louise sponge. But, you know, the sponges that came with these things, I would smooth it all out at the end with my compact powder and this using the compact sort of applicator sponge. I don't know what you want to call it. That came with it. And then that would be it for me. That would be it. Usually I would use, if I used a mascara, it was Clinique, just because Clinique always gave almost always gave in their gift with purchases mascara. So this is actually a Clinique mascara. That was a gift with purchase, you know, and these used to last me forever. And a mascara will really last you forever, you know, if you're not like a heavy coat user. I mean, eventually the formula will crap out on you, but you'll know when that's happening, and you can just get out in front of it. Every once in a while, not a lot, I would throw on a lip gloss just for the heck of it. And there you have it. Was it a 5-minute face? I can't tell. I talked about a few other things other than just the components of the 5-minute face, but we put it all back in. Let's hurry. Let's really simulate. No, I'm just kidding. We don't need to be in that big of a hurry, but yeah. I put it all back in the little bag that it came from, pop it back in my backpack, and I would be good to go for the day. Maybe a little reapplication if we ended up working super duper late. Not a lot to wash off at the end of the day, and definitely not clown face. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, I hope you're having a great morning, afternoon, evening. And that you are well. I'll see you in the next video.